such an asshole.
Hello, today's video is brought to you in part by histherapist.com. Histherapist.com, Dr. David Maloney will attempt, though no guarantees, to solve your problems, and also how not to become a millennial because, well, that way I make money. Kind of a more serious and kind of depressing question. Hello, Aaron. Please keep me anonymous. This request is long, but please bear with me. I understand I'll be charged accordingly. I'm not yet 30-year-old woman working in STEM at a place. I've followed your advice and have managed to avoid any debt, didn't major in a worthless degree, and found a great guy to marry who I've been with for 6 years. Good for you. Good for you. That solves a lot of problems. All right. So your problems you're about to enlist here, or enumerate rather, you got a good guy. So maybe find some anchoring in that. Everything else is going great in life except for my relationships with my immediate family. I've tried to find videos of situations similar to mine, but I've never had much success. So an outside opinion from experienced asshole is just what I need. Background. My parents had several children, and I'm the youngest. My brother died a while ago, and my single mother, sister, and I have been estranged for some time. Several years ago, she was in a coma for a month after her and her boyfriend got into a fight and he pushed her down a flight of stairs. I'm sure she didn't instigate anything at all. Guy just woke up one day. He said, I felt like pushing my bitch down some stairs. So I'm sure these are all high quality people, it sounds like already. They were both on cocaine. Do you really need my help? Do you? Can you not figure this out already, that these are bad people who made bad decisions, and just because you share genetic material with them doesn't mean they have to be part of your life? I know, the classical, but my genetics compel. The power of genetics compel you. The power of genetics compel. Yeah, do they really? That time she claimed I did not visit her enough. I had a full-time job and worked long hours. Also, the whole family tends towards the dramatic, and there was never any private moment with her at the hospital. It almost feels like they are acting all the time, and I am extremely uncomfortable around the whole group. Well, that's your body telling you something. Your body and your brain. I'll tell you this. Single mom, boyfriend, cocaine, pushed downstairs. I'd be like, dude, I've gotten rid of family members for a lot less than that. I mean, you're a Democrat. You vote to enslave me. Fuck you. Get out of here. No. Fuck you. Do not enslave me. Do not take my time away. That's how, which is a very good reason to never have anything to do with people with Democrats in your life. But this goes beyond that. You have degenerates as family members. I would not hang out with these people in terms of moral, ethical principles. I told her when she recovered that I was very sorry I did not come enough. 2 years after that, she broke both her legs in a DUI accident. Was she drunk or was somebody? I'm going to guess it was her. I visited her more often this time. However, after I was unable to visit her at the hospital one day, she stopped responding to my message. Okay, all right, stop. This is a solipsistic person, okay? This is, I don't know if psychopath in the clinical sense, but in the functional sense, this is a psychopath. You don't exist. Now, I don't know about the rest of your family members, but it sounds like if they're drama, it's all about them. Nobody else exists, and they have no compunction or capability for selflessness or altruism. Not in a sacrificial sense. Not at their own expense, but to acknowledge other people exist. They are sentient. They suffer and enjoy both pain and pleasure and are other human beings deserving of the respect that other human beings should have. Individuals, they lack that ability to acknowledge that you're that. It's all about them. They are solipsistic. In their mind, they are the only thing that exists. The rest of you are all NPCs and programs and non-sentient entities that are no functionally different or intelligent than this little angry bird a friend of mine made. Coincidentally, she has the last name Bird. That's why she did that. That's what makes it funny. So until you stopped being a pawn in her life until you stopped acting as the stimulus to her life. She wanted nothing to do with you. And you were busy. You had other stuff going on. I mean, these are vile, reprehensible people. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to maybe boil down to the 7 deadly sins, but solipsism should be added to the 8th deadly sin, or as the 8th deadly sin, because I'm trying to think of anything more evil than putting yourself first above everyone else. I'm not saying you should put yourself first. You got to survive. I got that. Always look out for number one. But to fail to acknowledge that other people exist and then to view other people only as resources or assets, as the CIA would call them, to promote yourself and essentially use and abuse them. That's evil. That's wrong. Maybe that's it. Solipsism, the 8th deadly sin. I think that should be added. Whatever philosopher came up with 7, he did a pretty good job. Maybe her. I don't know. Let's be honest. It was a guy. We're going to add to that the 8th deadly sin because I'm a freaking philosophical genius. However, I was unable to do it one day. That was the end of that relationship. I refused to beg for forgiveness again. What sin? What did you do? Why did you beg for forgiveness in the first place? My mother basically ignored us for most of our childhood. Boomer mom. My memories of her are mostly her watching soap operas and me trying to get her attention. She used to volunteer at the local school teachers. And it was strange how she seemed to be one around kids, but did not care about her own. That's pretty much every Marxist leftist social worker of the female persuasion. That's pretty much every liberal arts, social science majoring woman. And guy too. They don't actually care about these people. They use charity and poverty and disparate incomes as a way to make themselves money, give themselves value. They don't actually care about children or minorities or women or helping out the fellow community. It's just an ego fix. It's shooting up ego. That's all it is, and a way to make money too. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, she didn't love you. That's it. There you go. She loved other people's. She didn't even love other people's children. She just loved herself. Her and my father even went as far as starting the process of trying to foster children, but they were ultimately denied. I don't know why. Probably because they're mentally ill. Probably because they didn't have the money, and probably because they were just doing it for the money. You get paid welfare if you get foster children. Futurama did a great documentary on that when Bender adopted a bunch of foster children. My father worked full-time in a place, did all the groceries and cooked all the food. My mother would scream at him, cry, and threaten to kill herself many times when I was growing up. Look, I know you were inured in this environment, but you can leave anytime. You can leave. You should really never talk to your mother again, and hopefully your dad's still alive, and do whatever you can to form a relationship with him and help him out on his waning days. I think he's in the last third of his life at least. She never actually attempted suicide though. Right, of course, because that takes balls. Your mom was a solipsistic person. Only she existed. And everybody else in the world was not people. They were things to grandiose her, to entertain her. And when people wouldn't play, she said, I'm going to kill myself. And you should have said, do us a favor and do it. Slice this way, not this way, which is pretty dark, I admit. But I hate people who fake suicide attempts. Cries for help. Oh, I hate cries for help. I hate you. You torture everybody unnecessarily, but you really had no intention. You're so lazy. You're so pathetic that you do a call for help. You fake suicide. I'll take 5 sleeping pills. Oh, no way. And you post it on the internet. I realize now that it was just a ploy for attention. My father spent time with me, and I loved him very much, but he was extremely into religion. Oh, God, you didn't get a break. Oh, you didn't get a break. My father spent time with me. I love him very much, but he was extremely into religion. We always talk about the book of Revelation, the world ending, and Christ's return. I was terrified as a child of the stories in the book and what he told me would happen if I did not follow it. My childhood is a blur, but I remember being miserable and scared for the most part. Yeah, I'm sorry, kid. My old man, he was a pastor in Wisconsin Synod, and I hope everyone in the Wisconsin Synod dies, and you all will go to hell, but there is no hell or heaven because your religion is false. I was 3 years old. Like, you're going to burn in hell if you don't believe in this hippie-looking pedophile over here with the long hair who died and then rose and then went to heaven like 2,000 years ago. I'm like, who is that? Like, natural, childlike self-protection. I don't trust long-haired hippie people. It was fresh off the 70s. You know, I was coming cognizant and aware. I'm like, well, I don't like all these hairy people and these hippies. Well, they don't look like they could provide for me. And yeah, so I'm acutely aware of, like, believe this kid or you're going to burn. You know, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what else to say. You didn't get one good card in the hand you were dealt. Terribly sorry. My childhood, current situation. Was your dad still alive? Because parents tend to chill out when they get a little bit older. And if he's still alive, you being, a mature young lady, you're an adult now. You're not a rookie anymore. I think if you went and it doesn't sound like you didn't, lose your relationship with your father. I would go back, Dad, knock it off the religious bullshit. Can we just have a good Father's Day? Can we just have Thanksgiving? And maybe salvage that if he's still alive. Current situation. I'm struggling now with the guilt they're placing on me to come visit. No. Why? Look, dude, I can't overcome your genetics and your compunction to want to hang out with family. And we got a lot of, it's a very simple, I don't know, maybe you are a minority, but a parallel that I run into with a fair amount of my young black male clients is single mom trash threatens to disown me if I go and live my life. Essentially, we got young men who want to join the military, go to college. They want to leave home. I guess the big triggering event is the young black male wishes to go and, I don't know, improve his life or something, live life. And the mom says, if you leave, I'm going to disown you because I get more Section 8 money. Right now, this is not to besmirch upon the black community or let alone black single moms. It's just to pull a parallel that you got to realize that whether it's the case of the young black dudes who want to go and improve their life and the mom threatens to leave them because they won't get as much government assistance, or in the case of your family, in either case, regardless of your race or background, it's a sad fact that there are many parents, and I would say 85% of them modern day love themselves more than their children. To what extent that varies. I would argue on the lighter end where your parents might love you, but they love themselves more than you, they outsource the children to daycare. So mommy can pursue her career because fuck the children. That's not as important as her career. And dad isn't participatory. Although stay married, but dad's never going to sit down and give you some advice. He's just going to have a drink and go to sleep. All right, so that's like ideal. It isn't Ward Cleaver or Fred McMurray sitting down having some one-on-ones with you, teaching you about life, or Andy Griffith. On the extreme other end where your parents really don't give a shit about you, like they don't even love you on some token level of amount, is where they take advantage of you like this, guilt tripping to make them feel drama and all that. And worse than the situation you're in is where the parents actually abuse the children physically, but I also would say financially, where the most atrocious example I've seen is where they take their kids' social security number and set up lines of credit and credit cards, ruin the kids' finances and credit score before the kid's even 18. Now, I don't know if there's been measures taken by the financial industry to prevent that. Like, hey, we got to prove the kid's 18. But that's where the parents just are truly volatile and toxic. You're on the bottom quintile. Your parents didn't even put up the facade for that bullshit. All right? So, as a independent third-party outside observer, I don't know about the rest of your siblings, but for the most part, your family are evil, vile, reprehensible people. And I don't care what genetic compunction you got to leave them. And if I would just walk away, frankly. I mean, maybe with your dad, but you would, and go listen to some Stefan Molyneux about his abusive mother, truly abusive, psychotic mother. Okay. Go listen to some of that. But you got to have some self-respect, dude. You got to realize that, and it's hard, man. I wish I could say, oh, X, Y, and Z. And then you reprogram your genetics not to be attached to your mother and father. But it's impossible. It's not borderline impossible. It is impossible. You'll always have some kind of token attachment to them because of genetics, because of things outside of the control of your frontal cortex. But use this frontal cortex and just hold some standards and like forgive yourself at least. Say, no, repeat after me. My parents are atrocious, reprehensible people. My family are atrocious, reprehensible, evil people. I should have nothing to do with them. I deserve better. And I don't know what else to tell you, man. You're struggling with now the guilt they are placing on me to come visit them. I wish I had a solution. No. Try to sit and look at their actions and realize how they're just using you to come visit them, to validate their own ego. That's all that is. That's all that is. And maybe I'm certainly older than you, and maybe I didn't go through anything really as bad as that. My parents were much better than that. But other things outside my family and parents, but like poverty and shit like that, maybe it's over the time has made me more calloused, where I could just get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. You're a Democrat? Get the fuck out of here, you slavery voting fuck. Just get the fuck out of here. And I've given up, like, just like that. Like, no, I do not tolerate that bullshit. Because perhaps resources were of urgent need for many years of my life. But with your family, man, you're just going to have to get to that point. And yours is not a resource or economic or political based one. It's one of being abused and taken advantage of. After I sent a photo to my mother of my engagement ring after my fiance asked, she ignored what I sent and replied that she had gotten new teeth from the dentist. Yeah, your mom doesn't love you. There's it. There, your mom doesn't love you. Your mom never loved you. It was only in that moment that I realized my mother didn't love me. Right. Okay. So you realize that. Now are you going to make the corresponding decisions and actions after that, including not just ignoring them and why would you bother hanging out with them, but including forgiving yourself. Your mom never existed. Where you come from, it's gone. Where you thought you were going to, weren't never there. And where you are ain't no good unless you could get away from it. Right? Your mom never existed. She was somebody that didn't abort you, spat you out, and then really didn't raise you. I'm not saying you were ill raised or you turned out bad. I'm just saying your mom never existed. It's a vile, evil woman that's all about herself. To her, you don't exist. You don't exist. Did you not see that? And if you needed loving and belonging, you thank God you got yourself a fiance. Sounds like a nice guy. You got him. Maybe go find your dad. Maybe go find your friends. But give it up on your mom and your sister. That's just fuck no. I have very little desire to see her. Good. But I still want a relationship with my dad. Good. He's alive then. I'm getting married in a foreign country to serve my fiance's large family can be present. Good. Oh, it sounds like a fun Can you send me pictures? I want to see pictures of the wedding. Send me pictures. I don't know what the ethnicity of your husband is or your fiance. I'm just picturing a big fat Greek wedding. A lot of people having fun, a lot of hair, and everybody eating really good food. That's what I'm picturing. A lot of smiles from fat grandparents. That's what I'm seeing. At first, my father agreed to come walk me down the aisle. He later recanted, said he could not because it would be in a church. He believes the Catholic Church is full of fault. Okay, well, then tell your dad to fuck off. I think your dad is still salvageable. But for one, here, just hear me out. Put this bullet in your chamber and try it. You tell your dad You either you threaten them. You're going to walk me down this fucking aisle and you will respect my wishes. And if you don't, get the fuck out of here. And then you'll find out. You'll find out if he loves you or not. I forgave this, although I was heartbroken that the rumors had been spreading between my cousin and sister that he was not coming had been true. All right, well, then your dad loves the religion more than you. And unfortunately, here's something about Christianity. And this is, I'm not calling out my dad on anything else like this. This is technically every Christian. You should love God more than you love your own children. Abraham killing Isaac, Jacob, whatever. And then God came in and, just joking there, Abraham. Just joking, huh? Ain't this a great religion? Huh? Me or your kid? Choose. But yeah, I mean, according to the rules, they're supposed to love the religion more than you. So I guess in that way he's ethical, but do you want to interact with someone who believes in something that's not provable, some goobity-boobity-doo guy in the sky, who, if you look at the documentation, this presumed God exists, he's a kind of a dick. You know? You might have to walk away from your dad too. And here's the other thing. Look, you can stress yourself out over your dad and your mom, your sister, yourself, all that other stuff. It's going to come at the expense of lessening your day with your future husband. And I'm not just talking your wedding day, but your relationship as well. Do you want to have doesn't he have wait. So you got a to-be father-in-law. Could he walk you down the aisle? Does he love you? Is he going to accept you into the family? You know, maybe that's what you should do. You know, your old man doesn't look. Your old man should jump at the chance to do that. Okay? That should be one of the most, but if your dad is so up in his own ass and loves God more than you, or rather, I should say, loves the religion more than you, God is probably not even a part of that. There's another bit of empirical evidence, and you can ignore it and torture yourself over it, or you can have a loving man walk you down the aisle, probably the father-in-law. Now, I don't know what your relationship is with your future father-in-law, but if it's good, I think maybe you could ask him to walk you down the aisle. He'd probably cry because that is such an honorable, precious thing. And it's kind of sad your own man won't do that. But the fact you even have to negotiate and pull teeth like this, fuck that crap. No, I'd leave your family. I would. I'm no therapist or anything. I go talk to a therapist. Histherapist.com. I'm sure Doc will take women as well. But just looking at this empirically, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. No, I like if anyone, parents or not, family or not, did this type of bullshit, I'd be like, get out of here. No, just get out of here. I've walked away from good friends. I've walked away from good people otherwise, but they have these irrational things. So it's just like, no, it's all about you and your own. No, done. Walk away. Your father should respect your autonomy, your individuality, and your choices, and should want to make you happy. I'm not saying spoil you rotten. Walking you down the aisle for a church that he slightly disagrees with. What is he, Protestant or something? I mean, Catholic Church, I have disagreements with the Catholic Church. For false, he's gone. He went to the loony bin. He loves that Bible more than he loves you. They're not pressuring me to come see them. No, but I've been putting it off. Good, citing work and COVID restrictions. I just cannot find myself to muster up the energy to hear about how we're all doomed and the world is ending again in 8 years. Yeah, no, just don't. It makes me feel like nothing I can do possibly matters in his mind because I'll just be dead or in hell soon. Anyways, it's true. It is painful to think that I can never have a normal relationship with him. Yes, it is painful. And that is the good part, because now you are working through accepting this reality that allows you then to move on and enjoy a good life with your husband and his family, hoping his family is not mentally ill. I know he'll never stop believing in all this. No, he won't, because he loves the religion more than you. He loves the religion more than God. He is a hypocrite. However, what is the point of trying to develop something with someone who is anxiously waiting for the end? Nothing. There's no reason. let alone he doesn't even acknowledge you as an individual. I'm not saying you're the center of the universe, but you should at least be acknowledged and your desires and wishes at least respected. I'm not saying honored or honed or honored or catered to, but they should at least respect your decision and out of love want to cater to you. And it's very painfully obvious none of them love you or care about you. And they're bad people. And the only way, the only way you're going to get out of your family, your genetic family, the only way you're going to is by leaving them, holding them to the fire, making them apologize. And if they have any interactions with you, you will hold them to standards. And if your mom does dramatic bullshit, your dad mentions the religious crap, you kick them aside. Frankly, though, I don't think they were ever there. I mean, at your age now, it's too late. You're a certain age. They're more than a certain age. They're not changing. And the only way I've seen it work is where the young kid, male or female, goes up there and says, you will stop it the fuck right now. And if you dare other fucking treat me like, because they know what they're doing deep down. So I don't believe anyone like, oh, I just didn't know. If you dare fucking treat me like this shit ever again, get the fuck out. And it's that slap across the face. I think pretty much every parent ever needs from their kids, where you stand up to them and say, this is unacceptable. Knock it the fuck off. And then and then their genetics kick in. And, oh, maybe I shouldn't treat my child like shit. But it's too late now. I would absolutely abandon your family. I mean, leave a line. If you want to contact me, but I would have nothing to do with them ever again. And I would focus on your future. You got, it sounds like a loving husband. Again, I'm picturing a big, fat Greek father-in-law who loves you to death, who give you a big sweaty hug. And even though he stinks of body odor, you'd love that hug, and he'd be more than happy to walk you down the aisle. Question is, am I being too hard on my sister and mother? No, you're not being hard enough. No, I would completely disown them. Matter of fact, if you want to do it right, and I think you should do this from a legal manner, you should emancipate yourself from them. Look up emancipation, because there's some states where you might be legally on the hook for their health care. Is this situation salvageable? No, it is not. What should I do? I would focus on the people who actually do love you, and that would be your fiance and hopefully his family. And I would go live and enjoy. That's your new family. I mean, God almighty, did we not see from the boomers family doesn't matter? Have we not? Did not the boomers prove to us that blood is not thicker than water? They totally didn't love their kids. They had divorced. Me. I mean, you gotta, it's like the cartoon where you look on one side, it's death and destruction and sadness and chaos and volcanoes and it's dark. And on the other side, wasn't it The Simpsons? Wasn't Bart supposed to either go with his family or the Flanders? And the Flanders were all happy, enjoyed it. And then it was his family. It was all dark and cracking. You should have gone with the Flanders. Go with the Flanders. Yeah, your fiance sounds like he loves you. Your family-in-law seems like they love you. And if you have a good relationship with your to-be father-in-law, I would ask him to walk you down. Or maybe there's a really cool uncle. Maybe hold that silver bullet. Is there a grandfather that's still alive? Is there a charming, wonderful old uncle on his side of the family that adores you? Give that on. Obviously, the logical choice would be the father-in-law, but if there's the grandfather and he's still, I bet you they would love it. They would absolutely love it. Someone who would appreciate being able to walk you down the aisle. All right, there we go. Let's go through the super chats where I can make money off of your misery. I'm such a dick. Will Dog Jones 1, new guy for $5. When is the next time you'll be on Sergeant Pomp's Grunt Speak? You're always awesome. I think I've only been there once. It's going to be at least till September. I got so much stuff, guys. I got so much stuff, and I'm doing this, and it's already noon here, and I haven't showered yet. So, Wiz Division Productions, $2. Enjoy that free ride to the airport, mate. Yeah, we're closing in, aren't we? The Black Brigade Debrief on YouTube. Subscribe to him because when he gets to 1,000 subscribers, my friend has to drive me to the airport. Otherwise, he was going to charge me because that's what friends do. The Mark Nichols podcast, which you guys can tune into for $10. My stepfather would hit me with shovel handles and 2x4s. My mother never left him for beating me or her. She still wears his last name today. I have spoken to her in 20. You haven't spoken to her in 20 years. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Physical abuse is never acceptable. Mental abuse is also not acceptable, but that gets into a gray area. My stepdad said I was an idiot. Oh, it's abuse. No, you probably were an idiot. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. Oh, we already got that one. Free ride, airport, free ride. Wazzy, you did 2 of these. Thank you. I got them. Wisdom Vision Productions, $5 again. Seeing as none of us can consent to being born, do you think the act of parents choosing to have children is inherently selfish itself? Yes. And there was a philosopher, I don't think it was Nietzsche, it was somebody else. But it is inherently selfish because they're doing it for themselves. It's not evil selfishness because you should want to have kids. The question is whether you're going to actually raise your kids and love them, or you just wanted to fuck and screw and kick your genetics into the next generation. That's where the true evil selfishness comes. Every action you do is selfish. Like I eat because I want to survive. That's selfish. I pee because I don't want to not pee. I guess that's selfish too. I chase after girls because I want to get with the girls and have sex. It's selfish, but there would hopefully be this ideal, at least with your interactions with humans, of being a mutually beneficial relationship. You chase after the girls, but you hope the girl likes you as well. You have children, but you hope you raise your children and you invest in them and they love you as mother or father. So it is selfish. It's whether it's evil, whether it's at the expense of the counterparty. And I would say, again, 85%, what percent of families are nuclear, stay married until the kids are out of the house, and there's at least one parent, I don't care if it's the husband or the wife, that stays at home and takes care of the kids. What percentage of families are that? And that's the percentage of families where you have true, loving, caring parents. The rest, the parents love themselves more than the children. Whether because it's mommy going off to work and dropping the kid off at daycare, and dad doesn't have the balls to tell, hey, no, somebody's staying home and raising this kid. Or whether it's the wife makes the money and the father like, well, I got to go do my thing and not raising his kids. It's tragic. It's very sad, but the vast majority. And this isn't shtick. This isn't me trying to be dark or moody. About 85-90% of American parents love themselves more than their kids. That's how simple, based on their actions. They might love their kids, but not more than they love themselves. And the evidence of divorce and choosing their career over their children and buying fucking shit instead of spending time with their children. That's another big one. Or having kids out of wedlock, or having kids they can't afford, and at least not having the good graces to abort the child you can't afford because you're going to raise them in a fucking single parent household. It's very clear most modern day American parents love themselves more than their children. Sam Whiskey, $5. This is for the cab fund. I don't think I'm going to need a cab, Sam. I don't think I'm going to need a cab. I think, hang on, let's go look. Let's go to YouTube. Let's get the Black Brigade debrief. $995. We're 5 away, baby. DT's going to have to drive me. He is going to have to drive me. I just need you to subscribe, Sam. We're 5 away. 5 away. Andrew, $2. How can I get away from abusive parents? Well, it depends. Like, are you 14? Excuse me. Are you 14 and living at home? You really can't. And here's the other thing. Are they really abusive? Or are you just a whiny little quantahaha? I try to defend the parents here too. Because I believe in spanking. Actually, I kind of almost believe in beating a little bit. Not like hurting, but like a switch or something like that. A belt. But how do you get away from abuse? If assuming they are genuinely abusive, you go to Child Protective Services. But it depends on how old you are. Are you 23 and living at home? I'd abuse you too. I'd be like, get the F out of here. But you leave. You go and support yourself. See, now, I had loving parents. They were not abusive. Oh, probably strict, but they were not abusive. And I couldn't wait to get the hell out. You know what I did? I got a job and never went back home. Never relied on them for money. Like a good 40% of my clients' problems are, my parents have derp. I'm like, do you live at home? Yeah. Well, I guess you're their bitch. Until you get a gerb with rurb, you're going to suck it up and suffer from your parents, whether it's actually abusive or them just holding you to standards and yelling at you. But the quickest way to get from abusive parents is to leave. And if you're an adult, that means you could get a job, join the military, work security, work 2 jobs. Oh, Fresh over at Fresh and Fit. No, he didn't have, he came to the United States. You know what Fresh did? He worked 2 nighttime jobs while majoring in computer science. And until I start seeing American suburbanite people do that, I got that kind of work ethic, I don't hear your complaints. You leave. You get a job and you leave. Edward Padden, new guy, $5. How do you feel about a man and woman raising a child without marriage? I'll read that. However, treat the relationship as marriage without the government. I'm with you on that. That's a very libertarian way. It's not whether you got that piece of paper where the government says, oh yeah, and the guy gets to pay you all this shit when you get unhappy and want to suck Tyrone's dick. All right. You need a mom and a dad there as a nuclear family. And before marriage licenses, I'd be very curious the history of marriage. When did marriage licenses become a thing? When the government decided to stick its dick into our personal relationships. But you need a mother and a father, and your children need to know mom and dad. Here's the problem, Ed. Depending on the state, you may not have common law marriage, right? Where you live with each other. But some states, and somebody look at it could even be countries, if you go through a ceremony even, or you call each other mom and dad, husband, wife, or this is my wife, that will qualify as a marriage under law. So it really depends on the state that you're in, the country that you're in as well. But philosophically, ethically, and theoretically, yes, I'm all for that. Because marriage is no. It's not no. That's a deal breaker. That's a hard no in today's world in 2021. But your kids need a mom and a dad together, and they need to know it's mom and dad. You need to raise them under that, and that gives them the best statistical chances of success and stability and all that other stuff. But yeah, no, the government, state and federal, and global, depending on which country, and they definitely make that hard, especially for men. Women, it's just like, oh yeah, get married. Best financial advice I could give to women: get married. Second best financial advice: major in STEM. Third best financial advice: join the military. Hey, Chris Puckett for $10. He's a regular guy. Ditch boomer father after he abused my mother and stole all her money and things with his son from another marriage. Haven't missed him a second. Yep. Blood is not thicker than water, guys. Shark bait. Ooh, haha. $5. Damn, I think I stumbled on the wrong stream. My parents were great, perfect, no, but I won the lottery there. Stayed married until mom passed. Hey, great, man. That's great. I know some couples that stay together and are happy. My old neighbors, they were married almost 60 years, and then his wife passed away 2 weeks before the 60th wedding anniversary. And then I know some other couples who are boomers, and they've stayed together, but I literally could count them on one hand. Literally. I don't even know all figures. No, it's great, man. I'm happy for you, Shark. Speaking of, he's got married. Mr. and Mrs. Elkins are great to visit. Chad Elkins, here's some shekels for driving me to the airport. Hey, as long as you sign up for DT's podcast or YouTube channel, hang on, let's refresh. Let's see how many you. Come on, 1,000, baby. Come on, 1,000. 998. We're 2 away. Guaranteed not to have to pay an Uber. The victory dance I'm gonna do. Abel returns to Eden. Biblical, new, Thank you for the $5. He that hath wife and children hath given hostages to fortune, for they are impediments to great enterprises, either of virtue or mischief. Francis Bacon. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll tell you this, though. In the ideal world, falling in love and having children is the most rewarding. That's the richest people ever. I know people who aren't rich, but they had good kids. They're married. The wife, oh God, the eyes the wife has for her husband, even in the old age, they just adore, they dote. It's wonderful. And the husband just loves the children and now the grandchildren. Richest people, really, richest people ever. I'm not saying that the song's schmaltzy. But for the remaining 99% of us, yeah, no. Children and wives are a pain in the ass. And unless you discipline them early, I mean the kids and the wife. I don't mean physically, I mean as emphasis. And your wife is on board with you, like, yep, we're a team, and you're Captain Kirk, I'm Mr. Spock, and we're going to be a team together until you get, nope, absolute hell. And your time will be consumed dealing with people's mistakes and problems. Absolutely not. Fred Freeman Sowell, for $1, I get a super sticker. I don't know what it is. Did I get all of them? I think I got all of them. We got them all. There you go. All right. $9.90. Oh, we're at $9.99 now? Oh, boy. Ooh, we're right at the finish line. We did this in under 24 hours, guys. I want to thank you all for that. This is good. This is good. So, all right, more on the way. We'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Toodles.